TMI probably, but whatever. Nipple pain. Yeah, nipple pain. Hey guys, welcome back to my camper. We have about a week left of summer here before the kids go back to school, so I think we're gonna try to milk every moment in this camper that we can before we go back to my parents' house for the winter. You can't really stay in the camper when it gets really, really cold because the pipes and everything will freeze, so you need to winterize we will need to winterize this camper, so we won't be able to stay here through the colder months. But it has certainly been fun for the summer. Though small, but still fun. So this is my official pregnancy announcement video. If you happen to watch my little intro that I made, you'll know one of my big 3 announcements was that we were expecting. We are expecting baby number 3 in January 2020, and I'm just so excited. It's been something that I've wanted for a really long time, and I just really started thinking that it wasn't going to happen for us, that 2 was going to be it. I'm just very fortunate and very grateful that it worked out. That being said, this has been the most difficult pregnancy. I'm not going to lie. I am, again, obviously very grateful, but it has been hard, very hard. The fatigue, the nausea, the vomiting, the headaches, it's just really been out of control. I was sick with both of my girls. I had extreme nausea and vomiting with both of them, but this one has just, instead of just being in the morning, it's been all day. Yeah, it's been bad. I don't know if it's because I'm older. I mean, I haven't been pregnant in like 6 years, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But yeah, it's kicking my butt big time. This is kind of like how we found out video type of thing. Embarrassingly, it's not like a super exciting story how we found out. With finding out with the girls, there was like such a build-up until we found out. So I had gone through fertility for both of them. For Oakley, I did a metformin treatment. I think I was like 26, 7, 8, I don't know, somewhere later 20s. So I did metformin with Oakley and got pregnant extremely fast. Like I could tell as soon as I started taking the metformin that my body changed, and I ovulated right away and we got pregnant as soon as I started taking the metformin. And then I continued the metformin through the first trimester to keep the pregnancy going, to help support the pregnancy. And I didn't have any other issues as far as that. And then with Waverly, it took a lot longer. I did multiple rounds of Clomid, which when I was ready to have Waverly, they said they don't do metformin anymore. They don't suggest that for treatment for women with PCOS and fertility. So I did a couple rounds of Clomid, which I also learned later that they usually don't recommend that either, because that really just makes your body make a ton more cysts. Then I went to a specialist. That was my primary care. She was giving me Clomid, trying that. Then she was like, this is kind of out of my realm. You need to go see a specialist. So we transferred to a specialist, and I started getting prepared to do the injectables. I did a preparation procedure where they inject dye into your tract to look for scar tissue to make sure that, you know, if you do ovulate, the eggs can go where they're supposed to go and you don't have any blockages or anything like that. And I actually got pregnant right after that procedure, which they said was very common because if there was like minor blockage, then that dye would like unblock it. So I got pregnant with Waverly after that procedure. Just like working so hard for them, I don't know, finding out was not a relief, but it was just different. This one I was just totally surprised. We hadn't been like officially preventing since Waverly, and she's 6. But I had extremely irregular cycles. I had the PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you don't know what that is, basically, instead of ovulating every month and having a regular cycle, your eggs turn to cysts and you don't ovulate. So that leads to horrifically long, painful withdrawal bleeds instead of cycles. anovulation, and just a whole bunch of other symptoms that are really lame. Basically, what had happened was that we were in California, Oakley was filming her pilot. I was like getting a head cold, like everybody was sneezing and coughing, and one of the other parents of the children who was filming the show, she offered me some oregano, which is like, it's like oregano, it's like a homeopathic supplement that will supposedly like helps like knock a cold out of you. And so I started taking this oregano to help knock this like sinus thing that I felt like I was getting out of my body. And when I got home, I bought my own little package of oregano to just keep taking it. And I noticed that I had a cycle right after that, and it was so different than my normal cycles. In retrospect, did briefly research oregano, and it did say that it helps with like menstruation and cycle regularity. So I truthfully believe that that had something to do with it, because just randomly getting a regular cycle is just so odd. But regardless, I feel like the oregano had an impact. I had a regular cycle. I had mid-cycle spotting, which is like a huge indication that you actually ovulated. And I told Chris, like, we're gonna have a baby. And hindsight's 2020. Like, obviously, if we didn't have a baby, I would have never thought anything about saying that. But because I did say that, and when we were having a baby, I'm like, oh my god, I freaking knew. That's so crazy. As far as like kind of like intuition or having a feeling, I would think I was pregnant like all the time because of the polycystic ovaries. So ovarian cysts are so deceiving, and they give off like pregnancy, like such similar symptoms to pregnancy. So I kind of thought I was pregnant all the time, like all the time. So by this point, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be pregnant. But I didn't really believe it because so many times I had thought I was, and then I ended up not being. But nausea, headaches, vomiting, lots of bloating, I mean, and not having a cycle for like 50 days. I think it was like upward of 50 days before we actually found out. So none of that was unusual. So it wasn't like huge, oh my god, I know. It wasn't anything like that. It was kind of just like, maybe, probably not, but maybe. I think that the biggest red flag where I was like, this is weird, this is different, was that so the biggest red flag was TMI probably, but whatever. Nipple pain. Yeah, nipple pain. It's just not something that ever usually happens to me. It's not a PMS symptom for me. It's not really anything. But so I was like having it excessively, and I kind of was like, what? This is weird. I did have it with one of the girls. I don't remember which pregnancy. They kind of both like melted together. But I do remember like taking a shower and just being like, oh my god. Even like the water was like just hellaciously painful taking a shower. So, and that's how it was. I was just like, this is really weird. But I had gotten a new bra, so I was like, maybe it's just like irritating it. I don't know. It was weird. But I did remember thinking that multiple occasions, like, this is not normal. Then the other kind of red flag was I kind of had like an aversion to wine. Like, usually I would drink like a glass of wine a night, and I had just been like off wine, like not really feeling it, which was unusual because I love red wine, and just to be like off red wine was kind of odd for no reason. But it was like getting warmer out, and I just thought maybe I was like hot or something. I don't know. And then I went on a school field trip with Oakley, and I do get car sick, so this is not like out of the realm of like something that could possibly happen just ordinarily. But I got so sick on the bus ride to this museum. I was like vomiting, so sick. As soon as I got out of the car, I was fine, but it just made me think like, this is really weird. This is kind of odd. But again, I kind of just let it go. I didn't test for a few more days. Really, the only reason I tested was that I ended up getting a filling, and it hurt so bad. I was having so much pain. I went back and they like filed it, and I still was having excruciating pain. I was like, all right, something's not right. I must need a root canal. I never had a root canal before. I was so scared to get a root canal. But I was like, you know what? This pain hurts so bad. You guys are probably going to need to do a root canal. Just get this tooth out of my mouth. It hurts so bad. And it wasn't even a big cavity. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a big cavity. And then she was like, well, I had to drill a little bit further than I thought I was going to have to drill. So I guess it ended up being a big cavity. And she said I was gonna have some pain and discomfort, but I've never had a hurt tooth after a filling before. I haven't had like that many fillings, but it just never hurt like that. And so I was like, done. I don't even care. Just take this tooth out of my mouth. It hurts so bad. So I knew going in they were gonna ask for x-rays. And I was like, all right, you know what? I should just test. It's not like I don't want to risk anything. It's not gonna hurt if I just take a test. And obviously it was positive, and I was so shocked and so happy, but then also I was so mad and upset because I was like, seriously? I mean, I just found out I'm having my last baby, which is like basically a miracle baby because I mean, I didn't do anything except for take that oregano, which I don't even really know if it's anything, but in my head I feel like it did. Anyway, so I'm like, I just found out that I'm having my last baby, which is like a miracle, in a public restroom at Walmart, no less. Which the only reason I was there is because I was going to the dentist and I was like, I should run in there and get a test. Actually, my friend was like, you should go get a test because if you're pregnant, you don't want to get x-rays. And I knew they were going to make me do x-rays. And I was like, you know, it's not going to hurt. Just better safe than sorry. So I ran in, I got a test, I went to the bathroom. Yeah. I guess technically I didn't actually find out in the Walmart bathroom. I took the test, I threw it in my purse, got in my car, went to the next parking lot, and I found out in the car in front of the dentist. So I guess that story is not as bad, but still, like, I wanted it to be like this emotional, like beautiful story of like finding out you're having your third baby, like with your partner or like maybe even your kids. I don't know. It was just not like that. I guess it's still a story and it's more my speed as far as like being funny and stupid and like horrible, but yeah, I guess everybody gets a baby, so you should still be grateful no matter how you find out. But I just was a little bit bummed that I found it by myself in basically a public restroom or my car, but whatever. Anyway, pre-pregnancy symptoms before I like officially found out. Again, I had like the nipple pain. I had a ton of gas and bloating, like a little bit of like burping and stuff like that, but it was just like bloat, basically a lot of bloat, and then the nausea and the vomiting, honestly, before I actually found out. Body changes, you know, just the bloat. I felt very bloated. My stomach was very tight. Again, these things are not unusual if you have PCOS. PCOS is a polycystic ovaries. So it wasn't like totally out of the norm. I didn't, especially if you have a big cyst. Like these symptoms are specific to if you have a big cyst, and I've had them before. And I've called the doctor like, hey, I'm having these excessive symptoms, and I've gone and gotten like sonograms, and they've been larger than average cysts. So I kind of was like, all right, this is probably a big cyst. Obviously, until I tested positive. So no real cravings. The only aversion, again, like I kind of was just like naturally off wine, which was weird, which was really weird because with Waverly, after I had that procedure, it was July, I went to the beach for 2 weeks and I had just like mixed drinks. Like all I wanted was mixed drinks. So this was like totally the opposite. The only must-haves, as soon as I found out, the only must-haves that I got right away were I downloaded the What to Expect app on my phone. I downloaded Baby Center app on my phone, and because we weren't telling anybody, I kind of was on the apps regularly. It's been a long time since I've been pregnant, and things have definitely changed as far as testing and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of just binging off all the information on those two apps. And I also got a journal. I got a pregnancy journal. I journaled a lot with Oakley, and I don't regret it at all. With Waverly, I had Oakley at she was 2. I hardly wrote anything in a baby book for Wave, and I feel so bad about it. So I'm hoping this time, since the girls are older, I'm not going to be as bogged down with like a toddler, that I can really keep track, because it's cool to look back, and the girls like love looking back at their baby books. Like, when did I get my first tooth, and when did I do this? So I got a pregnancy journal, and it's absolutely stunning. It's so adorable. I got it off Etsy from this girl, Allie, and her shop is called AMK Designs, and I will put a link below. You guys should check out her Etsy shop. She's got pregnancy journals, baby journals, all kinds of different types of journals. And they're spiral bound, so the paper, it folds easy, they're thin, and they're really easy to travel with. The only thing I don't like about regular baby books and pregnancy journals is the binding. Like, I feel like you lose so much. It's just difficult to use. So the spiral bound is awesome. Love it so much. Definitely recommend for anyone who likes journaling or tracking information like this. It goes week by week, so you can write your symptoms and all that kind of stuff, which is great for making these videos because otherwise I wouldn't remember at all. So that's been really, really helpful. As far as like anti-nausea, I bought a whole bunch of like pregnancy anti-nausea stuff and nothing worked. I really wanted it to. If you guys have any suggestions on anti-nausea and vomiting home remedies, please send them my way because I am suffering big time. It's gotten a lot better, but I'm still, it's just not good. It's not good at all. Again, in my first trimester video recap, I'll list all the things that I bought and tried that didn't work. If you have any suggestions, I am open to trying anything at this point. Okay, well, I think that's it for our pregnancy announcement. This video is probably way too long. I just want to say again, thank you guys for watching. I'm so appreciative of you guys. If you have any suggestions on videos or any questions or comments, leave them below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe. I try to make videos every week. Now that I'm feeling better, I'm hoping to definitely make them every weekend and get them up. Yeah, thank you guys so much. See you next time. Bye.